high-speed business at a record pace.
Can get 70 miles to the gallon on this fucker. This is shit that made the castle.
Check. Aha, there we go. Welcome to the Fast Ones. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Max, your co-host for the evening, and this is my buddy Mike.
Hi.
The other co-host on the Fast
How's it
Ones. We talk all about Formula One and motorsport.
Yeah, we do.
And lots of dumb things. So join us. Obviously, you're joining us right now. Tell your friends. Tell your friends to jump onto the live stream right now.
Tell them to come and join us. Kyle, we're looking at you.
Yeah.
Because you said best day of the week.
Yeah.
Good to have you here, Kyle.
If
Thank
all
you
of
for
our
participating.
followers and listeners right now would only invite 500,000 friends to every show,
That's all we need.
that's all we need. That's
How
all
do you
we're
think
asking.
Taylor Swift got people out to the Eras Tour?
She had all her friends invite 50,000 friends.
Yeah.
And man, that concert blew up. I don't know
I
if
mean,
you know.
6 degrees of separation in Connecticut is wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy what you could do.
You can pull a big crowd.
Is that where she's from? Isn't it Connecticut?
I thought she was a country girl.
No.
Oh, is Taylor Swift not honest?
Yeah. Wait.
Next, you're going to be telling me she doesn't write her own songs.
It's just midnights become her afternoons. She doesn't write her own songs. Does she not?
Please tell me she doesn't.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Who wrote Lover?
I think either
Mazzy
Pharrell
Star.
or The Dream.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Sorry
everyone.
for all of that. We're going to get right down to business.
We're going to get back.
If you have any questions, put them in the chat.
Yes, we
Welcome
will
to the
hear
show
from
if you're new. Yeah, let's get into it. Hey, to get into it, right off the bat,
Yes.
this past weekend, I watched a movie. I watched a racing movie.
Okay.
Speed Racer.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen that?
I haven't ever,
Oh, gosh.
but I heard that it's. Anyways, I'm interested to hear
What have
your
you
take.
heard? And I'll confirm or deny.
I've heard from. I literally just talked to someone about this, and I'm forgetting who it was. But they said they were like, everyone hated that movie, and I really liked it. But from what I understand, it's kind of one of those like realistic, but then cartoony mixtures.
Yes, it's very realistic, very cartoony, and I think it's based off of an old cartoon, Speed Racer.
Yeah, Speed
which
Racer
I
was
looked
a
up
cartoon.
halfway through the movie because I was like, "What is going on with this movie?
Yeah, it was an
Why
anime.
does it not make sense?"
Right? Wasn't it anime?
Maybe, and an
Borderline
old anime because like
anime.
old anime is just like cartoons.
Right.
They're just basically cartoons.
Right.
Is anime cartoons? Yeah, it's cartoons.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
It's wild.
It
It's
is
all over the map.
wild. It is
Okay.
all over the map. And it is just an onslaught of color and special effects and green screen and cars. And yeah, there's some cool racing sequences, but
Right.
oh man, it's been I mean, to preface.
So it was anime version of Driven, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
It's just missing Sylvester Stallone.
Gosh. I barely made it through Speed Racer. And it made me reconsider, was I too harsh on Driven? I was like, no.
No, Driven's nuts.
We gave up on Driven halfway through. Like the amount of cuts and the speed in Speed Racer was wild.
Yeah.
And there is no like frame in that movie that's not full blast on color and
It's just
speed and
vibrance
motion.
and everything.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Like zoom in close on people's faces.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was wild. Driven is crazier.
Yeah.
It'll be like a conversation with Sylvester Stallone and like who does Burt Reynolds play? It's Burt Reynolds, right?
Yeah, he just plays
like
Burt
his,
Reynolds.
He plays like the team director.
Yeah.
They'll have like a conversation about like, oh, what tires should we put on the car? It's like a 30-second conversation, and there's 500 edits. It's crazy.
You're like Michael Bay on acid.
Wishes he could film this.
He's like,
He saw this and he's like, I'm going to make Bad Boys right now.
absinthe, let's go.
Dude. So Speed Racer
Yeah.
made me think like, you know what? we need to get back into car movies.
Well, it's setting it up for the one that's coming out this summer.
I know, the big one.
The big
Formula
F1
One. The big effing one.
The big F1 movie that's coming out this summer.
And yes, I think that'd be good. So like, we're gonna watch F1 because I think the final trailer dropped today. I watched it because I'm like, I don't care. Give me this content.
Yeah, it's the same
It's
trailer.
The same one. For some reason, in my mind, it's a blend of Top Gun Maverick and Ocean's 11.
It is. It's just like,
Which I watched Ocean's 11 lately, a few weeks ago.
it's still
Top tier movie.
it's still so good.
The two boys from Utah
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
still the best.
The Mormon twins, too.
Yeah.
Casey Affleck.
They're always fighting in the car. Matt Damon's sitting back there so mad. And when they're talking to the old guy, Saul,
Yeah.
he's like, I think you should get out to Provo. You ever been out to Provo? He's like,
I
no.
think
He's
you
like,
dig it.
I think you do really well there. That movie is so freaking good.
It's so good.
And so F1 with Brad Pitt, I'm like, yeah, I'm stoked for it. And I want to watch more car movies leading up to actual car movies.
Well,
None of this gargantuan, man.
Yeah.
What is your movie?
Condor Man?
Condor Man.
It's got black 911s in it, bro.
That doesn't make it a car movie.
It's a car movie.
Is Batman a car movie because he drives a Batmobile?
It's
No.
adjacent.
No.
It's adjacent.
Is James Bond a car movie because he drives an Aston Martin? I hate this argument. Adjacent with the Italian inflection.
Listen.
The Brooklyn. Listen.
If we're going to get down to it, we're going to talk about car movies.
Yeah.
The best car movie that's never been called a car
Condo
movie
Man.
is Condo Man.
Stupid.
Second place is Twister. Not the
Condor
plural.
Man is not a car movie.
No,
Twister is.
a car movie.
It is a car movie.
It is a car movie. It was the first time I was ever excited about
Yeah.
a pickup truck.
Uh-huh.
And you know
Yeah.
that Dodge won a million awards. Everyone who has a Dodge Ram
Yeah.
around my age had some kind of,
Yeah.
Helen Hunt fantasy in a red Dodge Ram pickup.
Did you? Okay.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
Bill Paxton, I mean, maybe it was a Bill Paxton fantasy. I don't know.
Or who's the other guy? Is it Steve Zahn in that movie?
No.
Who's that guy?
It's
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That's right. He
Is-
plays a goofy guy.
Yeah, and he's great. He's great.
Guy transforms in every role.
Yeah, totally. And then Cameron from Ferris Bueller is in it. There's a couple of
Yeah.
I always forget that actor's name.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of great
You're right.
great characters.
That one is a car movie, and
It is.
it throws you off because it's not about racing
No.
or car chases, but they are chasing. Yeah, it's,
But they're chasing tornadoes.
did we ever review Twisters? Because there is a new,
Yes.
and there was a red Dodge Ram,
There was. And
Yeah.
you could tell.
and we all wanted to be with that new guy.
We all wanted Top
Who is
Gun
that guy?
Maverick.
In my head, he dated Sydney
Tornadoes.
Sweeney, but
Yeah.
they were just in that movie together.
They're just in that movie.
Hey, chat, who's that guy?
Yeah.
We're gonna get to F1 in a couple
Kyle
hours.
Marlin says Twister is a car movie. I knew Kyle was the right fan, the only one in the chat.
Yeah.
But Kyle, thank you.
Yeah,
for
Glenn
agreeing
Powell.
with me.
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell.
That's his name.
That sounds like his character name.
It
But
does sound fake. Wikipedia that his name's gonna be like Mark Stevenson.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Chevy Chase. It's like that's a street in Bel Air.
Yeah.
So, Glenn Powell. Thank you, Kyle.
There we go.
All right, we also have another announcement to make on episode 101.
Yeah. what's
Kyle is the new producer of the Fast
that? Honorary producer until Kevin gets back.
until Kevin stops vacationing.
Yeah.
Eat, Pray, Kev is back.
Yes.
This
we
is-
had him once before. You didn't know us back
You
then.
guys, we didn't talk about it on the show, but Eat, Pray, Kev is a thing.
Yeah. Every day though, like Kevin was in town. I was like, dude, let's go get some lunch. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna be like in Alaska. I'm like, oh shoot.
He's like, let's
The
get
next
lunch.
week,
And
I'm
he's like,
and
here's
I'm
a picture of the Dolomites. You're like, where are you?
And then this week he's in Florida, like driving a Huracan around Miami.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I have a friend who owns supercars. And we're like,
It's like, hey, Kevin,
Great.
Kevin, we're still trying to grow a podcast.
but he's getting the word out to all the rich supercar owners in Miami. So,
Yeah.
So
West
thanks,
Palm.
Kev. Thanks, Kev. I've DJ'd in West Palm Beach.
Oh, dude, have you flown to that airport?
Yeah.
Most low-key airport I've ever been at. I freaking love that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Dude, I've DJ'd in West Palm Beach, and I've also DJ'd at the tip top of Wisconsin and I've DJ'd at Regina, Canada.
Oh, okay.
Regina, Canada.
Regina. So
Yeah.
you've that's basically where Kevin's from.
And people ask me like, what are the coolest places to DJ? And I was like, West Palm Beach is one of the best.
Yeah.
Just full of Latinos
Yeah.
and fun people that
Yeah.
are all fit and they're ready to dance and go crazy. You go to Regina, Canada,
the opposite.
because I got on the mic. This is a fun story. I got on the mic, never been to this city before.
Yeah.
Didn't want to mess up the name because it's a weird name.
Yeah,
It's close to other words.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Close to
I
other
was like,
words.
what's up, Regina? And some grouchy old white lady was like, it's Regina. And I'm like, oh, gotcha.
Sorry.
I'll make the correct announcement.
It's-
And then no one proceeded to dance because they were too old and fat.
They were too mad.
Too mad.
That you mispronounced it.
And I was like, please take me back to West Palm Beach.
You just hit the mic. You're like, thank you, West Palm Beach. Good night.
I am leaving.
Yeah.
Anyway, holy cow. What is this podcast about?
This podcast
Yeah.
is about Flavio.
Flavio Briatore.
Flava Flavio is what I named it,
Okay.
which is,
He is the hot thing in
Yes.
Formula One right now.
we're going to get around to him though. I don't want to jump in too deep.
Okay, good. Because I have thoughts on Flavio Briatore.
Blah, blah, blah.
Briatorio.
Well, have you heard any F1 news this week?
Not this week. I've been getting people's feedback from the previous week or so where Jack Doohan was let go, which I'm bummed about. Because I like an Aussie in the sport. I like an Aussie that shaves his head in the sport. And I like an Aussie that came from a MotoGP heritage. Like, kind of a cool guy.
Yeah.
Sucks that he wasn't doing really well.
It's so lame.
It's whatever it is. But so people are reacting to Flavio in that sense. And that's all I've seen. So that's the most recent news I know.
The most of the recent news. Well, I want to I want to get this right because I can't remember this stupid name. But Max Verstappen was caught at the Nürburgring in a GT3 Ferrari, and he was testing that Ferrari. But the best part of it for me is that it like he's like trying to hide, like doesn't want people to know, but he shows up with the Max Verstappen lion helmet.
And he's always blasting that song. Dun, 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 dun. You just hear it over the hills as he's coming in. He's like, "Hey, I don't need people knowing I'm here." Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah, exactly.
dun, dun,
And here's the
dun.
car. So like here's the car is a
That's a nice looking car.
Red Bull, and it says Max Verstappen on this side. So I'm like, worst kept secret ever.
Yeah.
But it's a GT3 Ferrari. But the best part is that the pseudonym that he used was Franz Hermann was on the door
Franz Herman.
above where the car was.
I want to know how that name came about.
I'm
That's
sure there's
amazing.
going to be a funny story because you
Yeah.
know the F1 press isn't going to leave him alone about it.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, he had a secret test.
How did he do? Because I might have heard
He
about
he
this.
broke the
I heard
record.
he broke a record.
He broke the Nürburgring record in a GT3 car.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
He must be a good driver.
he might be.
He might be a crazy
He
good
might
driver.
be good at this.
Wow. Okay.
So
it was previously held by a Porsche, right?
yes,
Now it's a Ferrari.
right. And I mean, like this is one of those things where it's like, you know, I don't know what I don't know what like the specs of the Porsche are. This is a very like interesting thing where you get each year you have a little bit of a different, you know, regulation like they do in F1. So I don't know what specification of GT3 that this is beaten, but we'll say that Max smashed the record in a Ferrari.
That's
So,
crazy.
nuts.
Side note, like why GT3?
Yes.
And there's a Porsche GT3.
Yes, it's a classification of
Okay.
certain like,
Grand Touring
Yes,
or Gran Turismo.
so it's kind of like you say like F3 and F2 and F1 as you increase in
Oh.
number.
See, in my brain, I'm like, Porsche made a Porsche GT.
Yeah.
And then they made the GT1, then the GT2, and then on the GT3. And I'm like, why isn't Ferrari named theirs different?
Yeah,
Porsche's already on that track.
GT3 is a class of race car, and then GT2 is a class of race car.
I'm such
So-
an idiot.
But yeah, so
Okay.
Max
Good to know.
Franz Hermann
Franz Herman
broke the
Mr. Herman.
Nürburgring record.
How much do you want to bet that at some point during the year they're gonna put like Herman on his helmet or on the car in F1 just to like troll people?
I think it would be pretty funny
be
if
really
it
funny.
like still to this day I feel like the biggest success of Alpine was putting El Plan on the rear wing when Alonso was on the team is still like no way did they take that multi-million-dollar marketing spot on the car and put Alpine.
Put a meme on it.
Still the best move as an F1
Yeah.
team. Blew my mind.
That would be great.
But yeah, anyways, you ready for the next bit of news?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so we've already, maybe we haven't even talked about this on the show because it might have happened after we recorded last week.
Okay.
Ollie Oakes, team principal at Alpine,
Yeah.
resigned.
Yeah.
Right.
We haven't talked about this, but it was big news.
It was big news. And you messaged me and you were like, what could possibly be the problem with this?
This is my opinion on
Yeah,
Flavio.
yeah. And I would love,
still
I'd
hold
love
it.
you to, I'd love for you to explain to the listeners
Yeah.
where you're at on Ollie Oakes being out and Flavio's.
I don't have any opinion on
Takeover.
Ollie Oakes. And it's probably because I don't know who he is. And that kind of leads into what I'm going to say about Flavio. He's come into the sport and people are mad. They're like, oh, he's let off the team principal. He's let Jack Doohan go. Like, it's going to suck. And in my brain, as a fan, I'm thinking, your team just got this, I don't know, insane F1 weirdo old guy who
Right.
has overcome a lifetime ban in the sport.
Right.
And now he's running an F1 team. And he was just like, he was banned from the sport because of cheating and because of scary tactics and putting people's lives in danger.
Right.
He's also a really weird, ugly old guy who you don't know what he says, but yet he pulls parties and people and women and yachts. And I'm like, how do you not want this guy on your team? He's
Right.
going to shake it up.
Right.
He's going to bring you wins at whatever cost.
Right.
Alpine was the boringest team on the grid.
Right.
And now everyone's looking at them like, yeah, it sucked when Gunter left. And Ayo Komatsu, great team principal.
Right.
I'm thankful for the direction they're going in.
Right.
But if I was Alpine, this is the best thing to ever happen.
Right.
Because as a fan, it's going to be a fun, wild ride. I
Yeah.
want a crazy, kooky old Italian guy who's willing to kill people to get a win.
I mean,
I think at some point, like Formula One is getting too soft.
yeah.
They're playing too much by the rules.
Right.
Drivers are friends with each other.
Oh,
and
that's
I'm like,
the
can we
worst.
introduce more villains? I know we hate Helmut Marko.
Yes.
So this is a contradiction in what everything I've said. But like,
Different.
crazy
Different.
villain.
Yeah.
Like, just
yeah,
shake
yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
And he
A vi-
seems to
look,
fit the
look.
gray mold. So that's my argument. I'm like,
villain-
I'm excited. I'm happy he's back.
Right.
Yeah.
But like we'll say that the reason that we like a villain is like Jafar from like Aladdin.
Yeah.
Oh, Iago and blah blah blah. Like he's suave and he like the what is the main guy's name? The
Aladdin.
dad. No, the dad. But
The Sultan?
The Sultan is not like he doesn't hate him.
Uh-huh.
He's friends with the Sultan, right?
Yeah.
Helmut Marko is a villain to everyone. He's mean. He's not suave.
Yeah.
Flavio Briatore is the Disney villain.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm agreeing with this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He like everyone likes him at an arm's distance, not really sure about him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but you could be here. You're funny.
Yeah.
Hey, you got good things happening for you, but also what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because you kind of scare me behind the scenes. Like he's got perfect villain written all over him.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a difference between just being a jerk all the time, which
Yeah,
is
like
what
Helmut.
Helmut is.
I mean, if you're an Alpine fan, I mean, time to embrace the crazy bad boy of Formula One.
Yeah, totally.
Because he's going to bring you a good time.
Right.
Yeah, Alpine was not going anywhere good. Maybe. Who knows?
Well, they've been increasing in performance.
But dude, it's going to get weird at Alpine.
It's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready for this.
You ready for this?
I'm stoked.
Okay, so this is the part of this that I'm like, man, we can't get away from like this, and it's gonna feed into my story about Flavio. Okay. Ollie Oakes resigns from Alpine.
Okay.
One of the first statements that comes out right after was from Flavio saying, like, this was like a father-son relationship. Everyone who's saying that I let him go or we had disagreements, like they couldn't be further from the truth.
Did Ollie Oakes take over after Otmar Schaffenauer?
No. It was
Some bland guy.
it's just no, but that's the thing. It's so hard to keep track of all of the Alpine team principals.
that's what I'm saying.
From Cyril Abiteboul,
Yep.
from Cyril.
We only know
Abitable.
Cyril because of Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, because of the first seasons of Drive to Survive, where he's a very present figure in that too, with the Renault engine debacle with Red Bull and all that. And Cyril was over the engines and all that before.
Otmar was great because he's classic.
Right.
Great guy.
Right.
So Ollie Oaks.
So through all of this mess, Ollie Oaks was High-Tech Grand Prix in F2. Okay. That was his company.
Oh, that's a
and
company.
his brother, he and his brother founded that. Okay. The High-Tech F2 group, the racing team, was them. And it was funded by, or at least for a certain time, it was funded by the Mazepins for Nikita to join the team.
Oh, weird.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is where things are going to go
This is really weird.
kooky. Okay.
Yeah.
Ollie Oaks graduates from High-Tech
Yeah.
and moves up into Alpine, okay, as team principal, and has now been the boss for around that 18-month time window that is all an F1 or an Alpine team principal gets.
That's all you get this time.
And
this era.
Again, like all of us are just immediately like defaulting to being like, well, yeah, it's the window. It's time for a new F1 or an Alpine F1 team principal. This is just what happens. But in this case, it's a different scenario. He was not let go. He resigned.
Okay.
So find out the next day after he resigns that his brother is arrested with mountains of cash on him.
Whoa.
And everyone's like, wait, what do you mean? Right? And then Ollie Oaks is on a plane to Dubai to try to settle something immediately after resigning.
Ooh.
And now the rumors start to swirl because what happened was that the Mazepins bought a large share of High-Tech, okay? When Nikita was on the team.
Okay.
Those shares were sold back to Ollie and his brother when the sanctions on Russia were put in place after the invasion.
Okay. And the Mazepins could no longer compete in racing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the speculation is that this mountain of cash that his brother was arrested with is a sizable amount of money that is being laundered to the Mazepins because they are not owners in High-Tech anymore. But they must not have like lawfully acquired the team back after the sanctions or whatever is taking place. But there is something very shady going on behind the scenes with High-Tech Grand Prix, which is now supposedly removed Ollie from being team principal at Alpine. And like I think it's to protect the team and
you
not.
You think the Mazepins are still kind of in it and they're crazy
because like,
but like on the books they're not.
Imagine.
And so they're just being paid in cash. Crazy.
When the team is making money.
Okay, nuts.
But I think that like when you think about it, like think about a sanction being put on Russia. A good portion of your team is owned by
the
an
big Russian
oligarch family.
Yeah, huge.
And you have to suddenly buy them out.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, we got to compete in this F2 season.
Yeah.
We've got sponsors and things to uphold. So it like kind of...
Dude, this is a wild story.
Kind of justifiable that there's some shadiness going on here, but it's a really bad idea.
Yeah.
And now the speculation...
Now Flavio's looking really good.
Well, but here's the thing. Now he is...
Now Flavio's looking squeaky clean.
He's looking squeaky clean by comparison.
Yeah. How about you don't call the kettle black too early?
Quite yet. And I think the funniest part of that to me is that I'm like, this sounds like something Flavio would do. Like what Ollie is going through sounds like something Flavio would totally do.
For sure. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, it's just money under the table. Like, no big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why would that be a big deal?
Yeah.
But now it seems as though like, okay, Ollie's resignation might have come in the form of being like, I'm protecting Alpine and trying to avoid getting arrested himself.
That's crazy.
And also seeing now he's going to try to figure out what's going on with his brother and to protect him and try to get him out.
And he's living in Dubai until it all blows over.
Also,
can you get like extradited from Dubai?
I have no idea.
Is everything legal in Dubai?
I don't know.
Seems like it.
But that is something Flavio did. And we're going to get to that part of the story just momentarily.
Okay.
Because, yes, I'll spoil one part of the story. Flavio fled and avoided being arrested.
Like any good team principal should at least once in their life.
At least once.
If you haven't fled from a government, then what are you doing running an F1 team?
What we're learning at this stage is Ollie Oaks is going to come back stronger from this, and he's going to be a scary good team principal.
Yeah.
So that's what we're learning through this, because if he's got anything like Flavio's blood in him, we're going to see some scary stuff in the future.
Yeah.
But
Do you think any team principal hasn't fled from government? No, they all have.
they all have.
Yeah.
Christian's running from 6 right now. You know?
Haas was trying to dodge the Mazepins.
Yeah.
They got him in Denmark.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah, they they freaking locked up the cars. Gosh.
Yeah, the Mazepins are scary.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I still follow Nikita on Instagram.
Dude,
He's great.
He's great.
He's so funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
good for
he
him.
seems like he has his life together.
He's really got his head on his shoulders.
Yeah, he seems like his dad has built a world around him, and he doesn't realize it.
Oh, so
Yeah, it's crazy.
you mean Lance Stroll? Was Nikita?
Lance Nikita Mazepin Stroll. That's his. Actually, you go on to Wikipedia. It's his real name.
This is real.
Yeah.
It's Strollovich.
Yeah.
Mazepin Strollovich. All right. Well, you ready for it? Are we ready to get into the Flavio Briatore mess now?
How's the chat doing?
Chat's doing good.
Okay, good. Sweet.
Chat's good.
Good.
It's good. All right. Now I'm gonna pull up in my notes so I can keep this pumping. Okay, Flavio Briatore. You guys are in for a wild ride.
Okay, we're gonna do a little bio on Flavio Brigatore. Brigatone.
It's you know, actually, it's one of my favorite new F1 sponsors is seeing is it Barillo?
The pasta.
The pasta noodles.
Oh,
When I
yeah.
see that,
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like,
They're getting into the luxury game.
this is my favorite new F1 sponsor. I was like, hey, I've got that in my pantry.
Yeah.
I got a luxury good in my
Yeah.
pantry. Let's go.
Yeah, Rolex, Louis Vuitton.
Barillo.
Oh yeah.
I make sub.
The pasta of freaking George Russell. You know, he's slurping down a Brillo noodle right now. Is it Brillo?
Yeah, Barillo, right?
Barillo?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves,
He loves slurping down.
yeah, he's a linguine boy. So, all
Here's a
right.
question to the chat. What noodles are F1 drivers? What F1 drivers are what noodles?
You guys work on that.
Yeah.
While I'm telling the Flavio story, we'll reflect on it later.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one, though. If F1 drivers were noodles,
What would they be?
what would they be?
Is Yuki Tsunoda
Charles Leclerc's a bow tie
very much?
because
Yeah.
he plays the piano.
Yeah.
Esteban Ocon is a linguine because
Yeah.
he's skinny beanpole.
Yeah. Valtteri Bottas is a ravioli
Yeah, totally. It's just a flat plank.
full of meat.
just a meat pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. And then who's a layer?
Who's a layer?
Yeah, because then it'd be lasagna.
Oh, who's a lasagna?
Yeah.
That's a dish.
Yeah,
But I guess
that's-
there's lasagna noodles.
Yeah, and it's just a
They're
big.
flat and
That's
ripply.
what when you said ravioli, I thought lasagna. I'm stupid.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, who's just flat
I mean,
and boring? Oscar. It delivers a punch, but it's a little flat.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oscar
Yeah, I
Piastri
was-
is the lasagna.
Yeah. Remember how we thought he was just like a bowl of porridge when we first met him?
Yeah, we're like, this could be the most boring
He's
driver
actually
ever.
a lasagna noodle.
Yeah. You just don't
Yeah,
underestimate
that
him.
humor is very flat.
Don't underestimate him in the form of a Stofers either. You know, that's not that bad.
How
Not
do you
that
pull out
bad.
these accents? I can't do accents.
All right. We'll get on the Flavio. all right?
Okay, yeah, Flavio.
So, Mr. Briatore
Yeah.
from Italy, from very humble beginnings, a mountain town, middle of nowhere.
Oh, okay, cool.
And when he was asked about what he wanted as a child, what he wanted to grow up to be,
Yeah.
his answer was basically anything but here.
This is the origin of my hero. Flavio is becoming my hero. more and more.
You're gonna like him even more.
Yes.
Okay. They called him the Tribula. Okay. And I don't know how to pronounce that in Italian, but I'm guessing. Okay. But that basically means like stop at nothing to get what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was his nickname as a child.
Okay.
So his first failed business venture
Yeah.
was opening a restaurant in his hometown called Tribula,
Okay,
which was
cool.
named after him.
Yeah.
Right? And it went topsy-turvy, went on to the next thing. Okay, then
Yeah.
he works as a business assistant at a paint company.
Okay.
The founder of that paint company was murdered in a car bombing incident.
No.
And the
dude.
company went upside down.
Flavio learning mob lessons
Right.
that will serve him greatly later on in life.
Which and the previous owner of this business was poisoned in prison. So
what is it? Okay, paint.
for sure,
Paint.
this paint business was for sure mafia related. There was some kind
They
of
had really good pigments. They had some great paints.
just
Pantones that you wouldn't believe.
they actually couldn't prove it was a car bomb. It was the fumes.
It was the fumes. It was the massive love of the color fuchsia, and he just exploded.
He just put it in his car at the wrong
Hey.
temperature and things got sideways. What do you know? Don't try to get accusatory about it, okay?
so stupid.
So
But that's crazy. So he's working for a dirty paint company.
he works for a
Run
dirty
by the
paint
mob.
company. It goes out. He's got to move on and get a new job.
Okay.
He moves to Milan
I love Milan.
and gets a finance job.
Okay. It is
That
the
company
finance
goes
company.
under. He gets arrested for fraud.
Dude.
So
guy-
this is like the fourth job.
Yeah.
He's already got a fraud
This guy's
arrest
awesome.
and conviction. Amazing. Then
Okay.
he was a quote unquote music producer.
Yeah.
The likelihood of being a music producer or any accreditation here is slim.
I just picturing this guy trying to do what Pharrell does.
yeah.
Just in the studio cooking beats up.
And just-
they're just straight fire.
It's Clem Fandango. Can you hear me, Clem Fandango? But it's just when he pushes the button, he's like,
He probably has some massive #1 hits under his belt.
yeah. Pipe is one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, fake music producer. Okay, maybe I won't be so harsh. A music producer, quote unquote.
yeah.
But starts a gambling ring that's
Yeah.
rigged. But his fake persona of being a producer lures in wealthy people to participate in his gambling games.
Dang, this is a great business plan.
It's insane. And because he's winning in these rigged games, he made a lot of money.
Gosh.
But he also made a great network with affluent people
with all these rich people.
because he was just running in those circles.
Dang, how do I do this?
We all are doing it wrong.
Yeah.
This is
I'm like an idiot. Like, how do I update my resume?
yeah.
Is there an open position at your company?
You're being too
I'll
honest.
wait in
This
line.
is what we're learning. You're being
Please
too
interview
honest.
me and look at my piece of paper resume. This guy is swindling rich people in an underground gambling ring,
And crushes it somehow.
and people think he's a music producer.
Yeah.
People think he's the Quincy Jones of Italy.
Yeah, he's like suave guy over here. No one can bloody understand him, but clearly he's killing it. He's got this
shit.
gambling
Okay.
ring. He's crushing it.
Good. This guy is amazing so far.
All right. So he's arrested and convicted of fraud in the gambling ring. Okay.
Yeah, he knows his way around the arrest charges now.
Yep. So this happens in 1986. He gets sentenced to 3 years behind bars.
Yep.
But
Yep.
he escapes to the Virgin Islands where there is no extradition.
Whoa.
And in that time meets Luciano Benetton.
No, I know Benetton name.
Yep.
F1,
And this is
the fashion guy.
Yep, the United Colors of Benetton.
Dang, that is. If you are a new listener, look at vintage Benetton F1 gear.
It's everywhere.
and it's so cool.
It's dope, but it's
Like,
everywhere because
yeah.
it's a clothing brand
and it's
that
oh,
owned an F1 team.
Yeah, like if you are one of these people that likes that '90s vintage kind of like nostalgia fashion right now,
Like F1 kit.
yeah, this is your lane.
Yeah, this
Get
is your
on it.
this is your new favorite thing.
I constantly look at Benetton F1 gear. It's
Yeah.
expensive because it's all vintage.
yeah, but
it's cool.
there's an abundance of it, so you
Yeah.
actually have your pick of the litter.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, look up something vintage Ferrari or whatever. It's not nearly as abundant.
Yeah.
So, anyways, look up some
So he
Benetton
meets this
stuff.
guy
So he
In
meets
the Virgin
Benetton.
Islands while fleeing persecution from the Italian government.
Yep. And so he, in that process, becomes one of the heads of Benetton. He's running the fashion brand, and he's overseeing a lot of stores and a lot of things. By 1988,
Yeah.
Luciano invites him to say, we're going to the Australian Grand Prix
Wow.
in Melbourne. You're going to come with me. Or it might have been in Adelaide at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes him down,
Yeah.
and Flavio experiences his first Formula One race.
And he's converted.
This is the
because-
craziest thing ever, though. When you
Yeah.
think about an Italian dude
Yeah.
who's running a lot of wealth circles,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy that it took until this point in his career
Yeah.
after so many fraud
Especially living in
charges.
Milan.
That is the
Monza
first
is like
F1.
30 minutes from Milan.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's been on the track, on the calendar
Forever.
since the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
And like Ferrari in Italy, whatever, this is like
Yeah.
synonymous, right?
For sure.
So-
That is crazy.
Wild that
He's like,
1988.
I didn't know cars could go this fast.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. We'll reinterpret that. So, 88 is his first F1 race. And in that experience, Benetton convinces him, why don't you join the F1 team? See how you like it. Do it for at least a year. And he was like, I'm not sure about this. And he's like, even though it's cool, he was like, it said he like the second he saw the cars, he was like addicted.
I'm blown away. I am blown away. This
But
guy
he's-
who has no car experience.
No motorsport background at all.
is being asked to join
Nothing. His
join
first
the
race.
team.
His first race is not even in Italy.
You can't deny that whatever this guy has, it is magnetic.
It is magnetic.
This guy is.
It is
People
explosive too.
need him. He is oozing something.
Something.
Look at him. You don't think he is oozing some weird thing because
Right.
he looks weird, but
Yeah.
there's something chemical that people are sniffing.
That is just working for him.
Man.
So the 1988 Aussie
Yeah.
Grand Prix is basically the launch pad for Flavio Briatore into the F1 scene. By the end of that first year of him being with the team, he's running it. So he was like just kind of like behind the scenes with the team and ends up being the boss. Okay.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
It's very Lawrence Strolley,
Yeah, totally.
fashion guy who now owns a team.
Right.
Yeah.
Very much a similar trajectory.
Stroll's looking up to Flavio for sure.
But like this, the best part is that it's like
so nuts. 1 year and you're running the team.
by 89, which would have been the end of his 3-year sentence
yeah. Yeah.
that he escaped, he's running an F1 team.
He's like in Italy
Yeah.
on the track.
This dude was convicted of fraud, and he's leading an F1 team.
How is that possible?
Mind-blowing.
How is that possible?
Mind-blowing.
Like, what is he saying in these races that they're like, we need to make you the leader?
Nothing coherent.
He's nothing coherent. And he just go fast. Faster. They're like, oh man, that's a great idea.
Yeah, what he said. I like his style.
Yeah.
So then then here's what's crazy. What happens to Benetton from there?
Okay. Okay.
You start with Pat Simons and Rory Byrne, who were big parts of this team. Okay. Pat Simons is the other one who got banned with Flavio. So when we get to that part of the story, remember that name. But here are the other members of the team that are acquired through that time. Tom Walkinshaw, Ross Brawn,
Okay. I was
and Michael Schumacher.
gonna say, I thought Michael Schumacher was on that team.
Yep. So,
Wow.
so this team starts to explode with talent.
These are legend names. If
Right.
you don't know, these are legend names in
And
F1.
yep, and John Barnard, but they said Barnard.
Okay, that's
John Barnard,
Barnard.
if you've ever heard him, was a car designer from McLaren. Was also brought over, and Flavio let him go after like 1 year. And he was like, sorry, I don't work with people who are like one-man show, don't delegate, can't figure that out. He might be a gifted designer, but that's not how I work.
Wow.
And so, crazy enough,
Yeah.
he did have another huge name who was very talented and kind of was like, nah, done with you.
Interesting.
But so in 92 and 93 is when Schumi's really involved in the team.
Yeah.
He gets wins.
I'm
in
picturing
both
like
seasons.
the 7-Up livery. Is
Yes.
that Benetton?
I think the 7-Up was Jordan. That was his first race car that he ever drove.
Okay.
And Jordan had signed Michael Schumacher, but Flavio somehow through litigation, stole Michael Schumacher from Jordan and brought him to Benetton.
Did Michael Schumacher win at Benetton?
He did. So he won, he won races in 92 and 93, and then won back-to-back championships in 94 and 95
With Benetton?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Or it might have just been one. I'd have to remember that one, but I know that he for sure won the championship in 94. I think it might have been 95 as well. But the 7, how does the 7 work out? I'm forgetting the hazy details here. I should have remembered that. This is about Flavio,
not about
people.
Michael.
I don't always have my details figured out. Michael. So, but here's what happens. 95 and 94, great seasons. They basically lose everyone to Ferrari. So like Ross Brawn, like all of these people, all that talent goes to Ferrari with Michael.
Okay.
And from there, Flavio kind of out of desperation is like, well, I need talent. But, what do people want to work with? And it's a similar thing. Like James Valls, he hires Carlos Sainz. Why does he hire Carlos Sainz to come to the team? Because it's going to make recruiting talent to the team easier when they have a driver that they can believe in.
Okay.
Right?
Recruiting tool.
And being like, we're building
something
with
great.
someone who's a proven talent.
Yes.
So similar mentality. Flavio hires Jean Alesi and Gerhard Berger to replace Michael Schumacher, and I'm forgetting who the other driver was at the time. So, but problem was that those two guys were really seasoned veterans by this point with really high salary demands. The team starts to nosedive because there's just no money to pay designers and sort of redeem it. Okay. So by 1997, Flavio is axed.
Oh.
Let go.
Okay.
So, but in that process, one thing that he did do was use a Renault powertrain for the Benetton. Okay. Which I think in previous iterations had been Ford. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
So
is that the last time Ford has been in the sport?
It's probably.
I'm just throwing hard trivia at you.
No, because I know they worked with McLaren through this phase as well. There was another MP4 that had a Ford power power unit as well. So, but I'm not sure where that date fully aligns. So, but Renault is the powertrain for Benetton. Fast forward, okay, now we have a gap. Flavio disappears, does a few things, buys a soccer team with
money
with Bernie Eccleston, and does a few things on the side. And then in 2002, Renault buys Benetton.
Oh.
And says, this is now our Formula One team.
Okay.
And in that acquisition, appoints Flavio Briatore to be
back.
Team principal.
Crazy. So this is like Renault actual full-on team.
Yep.
Manufacturer and team of their own engine.
Enstone, the team that currently is Alpine.
Which is now,
was Benetton.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I had no idea.
So kind of crazy.
Yeah, the lineage of some of these teams.
Well, and crazy. At one stage, this was also Lotus. So if you want to get into the weeds.
That's wild.
There's been a lot of names of this here team. So, but.
Alpine is not the best. No, I don't like the name Alpine.
Can we just say Alpine?
Yeah, please.
Can we just say Alpine? Guys, come on. Can we be honest for a second?
It's Alpine.
Alpine.
It's not good.
Alpine.
So Renault with Flavio.
So Renault with a Flavio Briatore comes back. By 2005, he's got Alonso.
Ferdinando. New people.
Ferdinando. It's that movie where John Cena is a bull in Spain. DreamWorks made it. It's really good. You should go watch it.
Okay.
It's just called Ferdinand, actually. Sorry, anyways. Bad joke. So by 2005, Fernando Alonso and Renault are absolute peak.
Yeah, crushing it.
Dominate.
This is Alonso's 2 championships years.
And this is where they basically take the power back from Ferrari.
Ooh, fun years.
And so Fernando
and Alonso's dancing on top of cars.
Doing all sorts of weird things with his helmet on and dancing.
I freaking miss that.
So good.
I miss it because I never saw
it. But it is so good. It was such a fun phase. And the footage of Flavio through that phase is also just so funny. I can't even explain it. But so they win the back-to-back championships, and in 2007 is the fateful year where Fernando leaves Renault, goes to McLaren with a new teammate named Lewis Hamilton, a rookie, and they fight each other to the death. And Kimi Räikkönen wins the championship in a Ferrari.
And that's the last time Ferrari has won.
It's the last Ferrari drivers' championship, not constructor, because McLaren won the constructor.
Okay, yeah.
But So, and then in 2008,
Yeah.
because of the clash, Fernando goes back to Renault
Oh, okay.
and races the season. And it was the first Singapore Grand Prix. And do you remember what happened in the first Singapore Grand Prix?
You're testing my knowledge now.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
We've talked about it.
And it was a big event.
It was a big event. I want to say something maybe like for Alonso was ahead.
Yes.
Is this the actual race?
Yes. Do
Okay,
you
actual
remember?
race. Alonso was ahead, and the teammate crashes and kind of stops the race or red flags it, yellow flags it, so it finishes under whatever conditions.
It was
Alonso wins.
kind of like that, but it was Crashgate, right?
Crashgate, yeah.
It happens in Singapore 2008,
Yeah.
which doesn't really get discovered until 2009.
Uh-huh.
But that event means that that's where Flavio was on his out
Yes.
because he got the lifetime ban
he got the lifetime ban because he
Because
told
of
the
Crashgate.
second driver to crash
on purpose.
so
Yes.
that Alonso would win the race.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is,
And that driver only ratted them out later.
and a year later,
A year later, because what did he get axed?
they
And he's
fired
like-
him.
Yeah, and then
and
he's like,
replaced
I'm
him.
gonna screw you guys over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's been a long
And
Felipe
who's the real
Massa.
criminal? Flavio or that guy?
I don't know. We checked the records.
Did anyone get hurt in the crash?
I don't know. It was Nelson Piquet Jr. So I can't say that he's not controversial either. He, at least
It's
his
weird.
dad.
It's weird. Would you have ever thought that in Formula One there would have been shady players?
No, Benny.
Honestly, every story.
Yeah, every story.
Every person, like reading like Adrian Newey's book, I'm like, it's just full of insane people.
Just craziness.
Well, you got to be crazy to get into a car.
right.
And then those people who are crazy and they're driving cars eventually stop driving and they start running the team.
I feel-
and they're insane.
Yeah.
And at that point, they've also had a couple crashes.
I feel like the funniest part of F1, and it's probably kind of sad for other people, but
Yeah.
I feel like it is really funny, is you see an F1 rookie and it's like, they're just bright-eyed bushy-tail.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here comes Kimi Antonelli,
Yeah.
and he's just like, I love this sport. I love driving fast. And then by like season 3, they're Charles Leclerc.
Yeah. They don't smile anymore. Yeah.
And they're just hit with the realization that this sport is so twisted.
Yeah, very twisted.
And like full of all sorts of things that are like, what? Like, why is that the way that it is? And Fernando Alonso has spoken at length about this. It's like, if you expect justice, you were in the wrong place. It's all politics
Yeah.
and it's all gamesmanship. And so it's just a very, very interesting space. But Flavio fits that perfect. So to your
Yeah.
point,
I mean, he helped build the sport.
he did. He helped build the culture. I don't know about building the sport, but he definitely helped build the culture. And so,
So he hasn't been in the paddock. He hasn't been on the grid.
it's been
or
on
in
the paddock
sport
until he was.
until this last year.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
they did.
Lifetime, they're like 15 years, 20 years. That's a lifetime.
They dropped the ban almost a year later,
Oh, really?
as a French court ruled it as unlawful. And so
Okay.
Flavio was allowed back, but not. Most teams were like, we're not going to touch him
Okay.
because it's just been nothing but problems, nothing but trouble, right? So fast forward to now,
Yeah.
and he's back. 2024 was the first time that he made his way back into the paddock,
Yeah.
and that was following Otmar.
I don't know if that whole history was supposed to turn me off to Flavio
It wasn't.
because it just made him look
No,
like
but
way cooler.
But what I'm saying is that Ollie Oaks is following in the footsteps of Flavio with like fraud and money laundering and all these
Yeah.
things where I'm just like, dude, keep an eye on this guy.
yeah.
He's going to be a bomb team principal someday. He's going
Yeah.
to run one of these teams. Going to come back stronger.
Flavio's like, good job.
And he's going to be
Good
like,
job.
and they're going to be like, what happened to that one mechanic you didn't like? It's like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Just, there was an
Never heard
accident
him
at a
before.
paint factory.
You know, I heard about him. He had one of those tragic car explosions. You should talk to Flavio about that. He knows a thing or two.
Gosh. Heck yeah.
Henry says,
Henry's on.
Henry, yes.
I mean, Henry.
Good evening, Henry.
I mean, big shout out to Henry. He was messaging me earlier, and he's like, "It's 4:30 in the morning when you guys live stream." And as a joke, I'm like, "Well, like, yeah, well, you're the best. Thanks for watching." Like,
Yeah.
Why are you watching?
He says,
Go to sleep.
He says, "What up, ladies?" Which I was probably meant to say laddies. I'm not gonna take that personally.
Yeah.
And he said, "I made it to the live, but at what cost? I didn't sleep anyway, or I didn't need sleep anyway."
Oh.
And then he says, "But why does Max look like a tub of mint choc chip ice cream?"
It's because ladies like mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Enchante Cafe. Come on, what are you
Exactly.
acting like you've never heard of Daniel Ricciardo or something?
Sometimes I don't have
Jeez.
the right space to wear the full sweatsuits I get from Enchante.
Yeah,
I can't wear these to work all the time.
you're right. Right.
Oh man, I look good.
Yeah, look at that.
Heck yeah.
Mint and chip.
I mean, if Haas would put out a full sweatsuit,
I am so on board with a Haas sweatsuit. That sounds like such a
I
bomb
mean,
idea.
can you imagine Haas with the Baja Blast
Oh, man.
crossover, and it's like a
Baja
it's
Blast.
It's that turquoise Baja blue color.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I had that with dinner.
girls would just want to drink me up.
Okay, well, you made that weird because it just said I had that with dinner, but like it's okay.
Well, I'm glad Haas Chap has joined us.
Yes, thank you for joining
Yeah.
us, Henry Haas Chap Wallace, and joining us at 4 a.m. That is a crazy time to be tuning in. So thank you. But yeah, so anyways, Flavio
is back.
head of the FIA 2025.
I heard that
2026.
Carlos Sainz Sr. is making a run
That's
for
the
the
other
FIA president.
news.
Maybe they co-lead it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a good and bad,
Look-
like Goofus and Gallant type of leadership.
I'm not trying to get Carlos Sainz at the bottom of the Hudson River. Okay, I don't know if there's going to be a good companionship there.
Carlos Sainz, yeah, that's interesting.
I do think Carlos Sainz Sr. would rock that
Yeah,
role.
he would.
Yeah,
Seems like a good guy.
and for the most part, I'm like, they were like, a lot of people were like, there's going to be a bias. You have a son in F1, and I'm like, the FIA president. What is Ben doing other than handing out fines for swearing?
Yeah, how are they not biased right now?
He's not doing like the FIA president's not doing like stewards week in and week out. He's way too busy for that kind of thing. So I'm like, that's kind of a funny argument. I don't think it really lines up.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to
And
that
it might
job.
get a little obvious when it's like everyone's getting like 20-second penalties and Carlos is not.
Carlos
Yeah.
is in the lead in a Williams winning the
Yeah.
championship. That might be a
It
bias.
might. We might have to call that out.
But I don't see that. I don't see like a weird bias really being possible from the president's side.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be fun. We'll see.
So, but yeah,
Anyway, is that it for Flavio?
that's it for Flav.
That was a fun.
Flavio.
That was a fun, deep, criminally dive into the weird mind and history of Flavio.
It's a mind bend to realize that nothing leading up to F1 was a success. It was all criminal behavior.
and not even close to motorsport. Yeah,
it's like you
that's
didn't even
so
really
wild.
succeed.
You look at a
You
lot
were
of these other
robbing
guys.
people.
Like Gunter Steiner was like, what? He was in NASCAR, right?
Yeah.
and did it like
Oh, he ran the Jag team for a second.
He ran the
as
Jag
well.
team.
Yeah.
He did like I keep thinking the Dakar. Like he did like off those off
He
road
was
rallies
he
and stuff.
was
Like
in rally.
did motorsport his whole life,
Right.
and not Flavio.
No,
Yeah,
not this guy. He was too
Yeah.
busy.
sometimes you need an
Ripping
outsider.
off
You need an outsider to come in and
millionaires.
shake it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
They're like, how did you get people to believe that this gambling ring was legit? And it's like, oh, and they're like, hire this man.
yeah, get him
hire
on,
him.
Get him on. I mean, when there's like pictures of him with him and Jack Doohan and Pierre Gasly before Jack Doohan got let go. They look like they're having fun. Do you think Pierre's just like, oh, this is gonna get crazy?
I mean, I think that like
What happens when like a legendary villain is now your boss?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, in like that's part of what's crazy is like Flavio has like a house in Kenya, like on
Somewhere
the
quick
coast.
to hide.
Yeah, it's like it's and like he's I listened to Pierre's Drive to Survive, or excuse me, not Drive to Survive, the Beyond the Grid that
Beyond
he
the
did this
Grid.
year, and they talked about it. He's like Tom Clarkson's like, have you been to Kenya yet? And he's like, no, I haven't, but like I do want to go, and like I'm sure that would be cool,
Yeah.
but the dynamic that I heard, at least from Pierre, is that I do think like the team is still really built around him right now. And, that could always shift. If Franco starts killing it, then obviously the attention's going to change. But
Right. But right now, Pierre's doing great.
Pierre's crushing it.
And he'll only get better with that car.
Right. And
Yeah.
so I think that his relationship with Flavio at the moment is
Interesting.
pretty solid.
I think they're in for a fun year.
Yeah.
I think we'll see some crazy stuff from Alpine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Stoked.
Hopefully
Because like
they
I said in
deliver.
previous podcasts, I'm like sick of the chumminess around the grid.
Oh, yeah.
I want some old school kind of craziness.
It would be so nice. Blake says we need a Flavio v helmet cage match before the end of the season. I'm here for it.
Oh, yes. Great idea.
Was it MTV that used to do like the claymation?
The celebrity death match.
Celebrity
Yeah.
death match. Wow. Do we need to revive celebrity
Yeah.
death match for
Yeah,
like
for
weird
sure.
F1 battles?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that is a great
Helmet
idea.
versus Flavio. Already the name is crazy.
Yeah. Helmet versus
Those
Flavio.
names are wild.
Flavio v Helmet is a movie.
Yeah.
Ron Howard is directing it.
Oh, honestly, my money's on Helmet.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He's got
but
some
that would
weird
be a
tools.
really fun match.
Flavio's got a lot of money, but Helmet's
Yeah.
got some weird torture tools.
Oh, yeah. Flavio's scary. I mean, yeah, Helmet's scary.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Hey, this is a race week, right?
This is a race week.
Is it Imola?
I think. Yes.
It is Imola
It is Imola, and it will be, yes.
this week.
I'm so excited.
Why?
Thank you for saying that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm optimistic about
Uh-huh.
my life again.
I think we have a triple header.
Oh,
Imola, and then I want to say, let me guess, Monaco and
Catalonia.
Spain
Spain.
when the regulations kind of hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh, man, this is going to be so good.
What should we expect from Imola? First off, how is Haas going to do?
Oof. I mean, I think this one's going to be tough. Imola is a qualifying track. And what I mean by
is
that
it?
is that you...
You want to set a good time because
Yeah.
is it hard to pass?
It's tough to pass. It's a narrow track because it's older. But it is a high consequence track because there's grass and walls and, so the racing's good. But if you go for the pass in the wrong place, you end up George Russell and Valtteri Bottas,
okay.
where he punched him. That was an Imola.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
So definitely, but I love this racetrack. Last year, Max took a big swing at Lando. I remember that being like the most flagrant block that he threw all season, where Lando went for a move and Max literally drove him off the racetrack, and it was so sketchy.
Cool.
But that was here at Imola. So yeah, I don't know how Haas is going to do, but yeah, this is definitely set your best lap.
So what are we predicting? I guess I'm predicting Oscar as pole and for the win.
It's hard to predict anyone but
Yeah.
him right now.
And I feel like it's a safe thing to predict because McLaren needs to get all these wins before their
Before the regulation shift.
change and they have a little dip in performance. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they've
Unless their
made-
flexi wings aren't even giving them any performance.
right.
it's
Or
all
they've
just a
got
fake.
upgrades that make up the difference once that hits. Right.
Yeah.
So, but their tire advantage seems still substantial. So I do think that McLaren are going to be top of their game, but this isn't as intricate of a circuit as Suzuka or Miami or Jeddah. So I don't think this one's going to be quite the Max Verstappen show that we've seen. So I don't think Red Bull is going to be as competitive.
This is a weird shape. I don't like this shape.
It's not a very appealing.
It's like a
Track.
spleen.
It definitely looks. It looks like
looks
some kind of
organ-y.
human anatomy.
Yeah.
Organy. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's like they ripped out a kidney, like a big old thing. It's not a kidney because we know what a kidney shape is. Anyway,
So, but yeah, I think that
Very
this
fun.
is. It's going to be probably a little bit more Mercedes McLaren. I would think this weekend.
Oof. Kimmy,
So, yeah, Kimmy has a good shot.
home race.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Ooh, that could be
first
fun.
home race for Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah.
So that should be really cool.
Yeah, I would love to see him get a podium.
A podium would be really
that would be
cool.
really fun.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun. And then George doesn't. That'd be really fun.
It'd be really fun.
At his home race, the Italians would forget about Charles Leclerc.
They would forget about Ferrari. They're
They would
like, "Who's Lewis Hamilton?
They
Give
would
me out
finally
tonight."
be like, Charles Leclerc is a bum.
Is the Mercedes flag gonna fly at like Monza and Imola? Like this is a very upsetting thing that's happening.
What if the best driver from Italy was on Mercedes?
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
we're witnessing a weird shift in history.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
Just a sea of black with the big Mercedes logo.
It's like when it says, when was Monza Hockenheim? Like
Yeah.
this is weird.
Crazy.
So yeah,
Okay. Well, fun. What time are we at? How are we doing?
we're at an hour. We did
Oh,
it.
nice. Do we get any questions from the chat that we didn't answer?
We've gotten through them.
Okay, great. Well, everyone, thanks for coming to the episode today.
Yes.
You guys have probably already liked and subscribed to everything, but please subscribe, like,
again.
share, and then tune in next week. We keep doing these live streams, and we hope that you love them as well. So enjoy the race this weekend, and we'll catch you next time.